Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
All right, so you've just gotten to California by car. You drove from Minneapolis to California, and you spent the last night in Beaver, Utah.
I was in the Beaver last night, baby. Stockwell called me yesterday, and he's like, "Where you staying today?" I'm like, "Beaver," and he just burst out laughing. I'm like, "What? It's a city in Utah." And where do we stay in Beaver? At the Paradise Inn, which makes it the Paradise in Beaver.
I ordered from wine.com for the first time, and they have these great packages of Italian wines at severe discounts. Like the case was only like $120.
Is it good wine?
First bottle out of the box, very good. Yeah,
nice. Don't want to let
like
that sit down a while. So the came just 6,000 miles to come visit you.
Villa Amoroso, Tuscany, nice.
Well, there you go. Did you
get to watch the game?
I did. I watched the second half live and in person, but it was tied at halftime. I watched the whole second half, and I have a few things to say. I liked the pace better. I liked the fact that they ran the ball at the start of the second half. Seemed to give up on it a little bit, but they ran behind the big boys. I thought that Rhiola's decision-making is still a work in progress. A tight end sit route is not a bad thing, but I did see some slant routes. It's like, just get the ball out of get the ball out of your hand. I thought that USC got some incredibly fortunate bounces of the ball, and got away with two egregious pass interferences, the one of which ended the game, unfortunately.
Rhule loads up into the end zone. It is intercepted.
I'm encouraged and I'm frustrated at the same time. Number one, Dylan was getting the ball out way faster than he normally does, and I thought the to your point, the run and pass mix was really good in the second half. But man, oh man, Bob, our secondary was 4 or 5 times literally hand on the ball with the opportunity to disrupt the catch it, intercept it, knock it down, and they just seemed off. Like that one touchdown, Singleton goes up and kind of love taps the guy on those. You should have leveled him,
Yeah, it's like it was really a crazy. Like if you had a ruler that was 12 inches long, that you could cut up into maybe 3 pieces and stick it on the end of a defensive back's finger, Nebraska wins this game. You got
touchdown.
Yeah, it's like, and then that crazy play where Williams hits the quarterback, it bounces, it hits the defensive lineman, it hits the wide receiver, it hits the defensive back, and the wide receiver catches it on 3rd down and long. It's like, it's just you want to talk about feeling like you're cursed. That to me was the play where it's like, and then I immediately got a call from George. He's like, I can't handle this anymore. And so I get it. Nebraska fans. That was a nut buster for sure.
That should have been pass interference in the end zone at the end. I mean, the guy,
it's like hand holding apparently is okay. It happened twice. That's the disturbing thing. On that little out route that I think Nair dropped, the guy was tugging him like this, so he couldn't get his other hand around to catch the ball. And then that's a first down at the 1.5 yard line, and then in the end zone to end the game, grabs him, and like, what are these guys getting paid for? The commentators after the game are like, that was PI. That's shameful that they missed that call. And you know what?
Yeah.
You could probably point to maybe 3 or 4 other calls that could have gone either way, but it was like, man, you can't end the game that way. You can't just let him tackle a guy in the end zone.
To your earlier point, if we just touch the ball when it's going right through our hands on defense, we win the game by 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's just frustrating.
It was very frustrating, but they showed some spirit. I thought the play calling was better. I think that, Rhule, when they kicked that field goal, in this after the turnover. Like he had the guy wide open in the corner, and he just missed him. It's like, what are you looking at? You're right. You got 3 receivers on one side, and you bail on that to go to the short side to throw to him and Johnson, which is great. But the guy was open in the end zone, and he missed him. So I think we're starting to see some of the shortcomings in Raiola's decision making. You know, when you're in high school and you're that good and you're that much bigger, I mean, you're bigger than a lot of defensive linemen. You know, you can get away with it on arm talent and just slinging it against kids who were small. But these are big boys here, and you can't get away with that. But and it still confuses me why they don't use the middle of the field more. Because Raiola looks side to side, and you know the slants were better. It's a work in progress. I mean, the guy's been on the job for what, a week and a half. The new OC. So it's like
I'm encouraged by that. Back to Raiola 1 second. I was watching Carricker this morning, and he was saying that we're ranked in terms of Power 5 schools like 61st out of 68. I'm not sure if that's the right numbers, but that's our passing game in the Power 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's reflective of a freshman.
Yeah.
If we can get him to stay, I think this will be a great experience for him. And this new coach seems like he's just got he's got a plan, right? And
listen, kids.
Emmett Johnson said afterwards that he simplified the game for us. Emmett, by the way, had his best game ever.
They have too much talent to keep fumbling around this way, but you know it's tough. I'm sure that each one of them feels it a lot more than we do. You know, it's like, yeah, we have all that sort of history that those kids don't have, but they're the ones playing, and they're the ones they have to make that long ass plane ride back, knowing that was a winnable game that they just sort of didn't win. And it's tough. I really feel for them. I hope they pull out one of the last 2 games. I'm not necessarily hopeful, but I hope that they do, because, you know, the kids you need to catch a break. It's like, they've just caught some awful breaks, and it'd be nice to have it, you know, go the other way for a little bit. So tough. But it was like it was a game until the very end, which is good.
And Wisconsin had the chance to upset Oregon, which would have been amazing.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing I hate about the new Big Ten. It's like Oregon has made 3 cross-country trips so far this season. It's like, how can you do this to a bunch of college kids and expect them to perform at the best of their ability? It's ridiculous. It's like, this is just the Big Ten is the ridiculous conference. This coast-to-coast conference nonsense has just got to stop. The kids are paying the price.
Bob, the numbers are way up. It's a reality of the league, and it's an advantage for Nebraska because we're in the middle, right?
Yeah. I don't know about that. Anyway. But the Big Ten has 3 of the top 5 teams in the country right now.
Oregon didn't have to. That's exactly right. 4 of the top 5 teams are in the Big Ten, so we have an amazing league. And
you know, there's a possibility that the Big 12 might not make the playoff. It takes a couple of lot. The Big 12's kind of soft when it comes right down to it. I mean, that's right. I said it. The Big 12 is soft.
Yeah. Well, with the Nebraska hat on, you're dangerous saying that. But you know, a guy I was really impressed with from USC was Woody Marks.
He's a stud.
That kid can run, and I thought their quarterback did a credible job, and he ran the ball well. Dual threat guy.
He's trying to run and just fumbled it, which got a very loud reaction. And the stink guy from Mrs. Frady, because she was trapped in a hotel room with me when I was watching it, screaming fumble. She wasn't too happy about that. Yeah. So listen, it's hard. This is all just heartbreaking, and it's hard to watch because we keep sort of dangling victory, and then it's like, nope. And it has to wear on everybody. You know, Matt Rhule seems like a great guy, and he's doing everything that he can to try to turn this ship around. But the ship's not turning as quickly as anybody would like. And that's going to be frustrating for everyone.
And then you've got other examples. I saw something today, for year 2 coaches. You know, there's 5 year 2 coaches that are, you know, no worse than 8-2, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're
you
not
know,
playing in the Big Ten either. The Big Ten is
that's true.
is pretty tough this year, and so it's hey, listen, if he makes it year 3, he wins one more game. The Motor City Bowl. I don't want to go, but if that's where we're going, it's where we're going.
Check on the writers and see what the writers
Check on the
have.
writers.
So, Stryker, the Huskers lost because despite having one of the more veteran offensive lines in the nation, they are still not physical enough at the point of attack. Boy, we've seen that all season. Stukenholtz, Husker Max SI. If you could boil this game down to one sentence, it would be the following. One coach had the guts to go for it, one did not. Well, I don't know if I agree with that. There's a lot of other things, as we pointed out, that could have won that game for us. Christopherson, Husker 24/7. Did the Husker offense look better? More points will still be needed going forward, but the answer to the question is yes. Agreed. Andy Rubeck, Delhi, Nebraska. The Black Shirts standout showing us Ohio State 3 weeks ago looks more like a fluke. I agree. Oh my God, they were just gashing us with their passes, and we were like, to your break the ruler in 3, and we win by 2 touchdowns. Chattel, make some plays, give up some plays, walk off with a loss. That's 5-5 Nebraska. He's kind of the dean of the sports writers. And then Artie Just from Lincoln Journal-Star. So many things went right, but so many things went wrong too.
Listen, I ain't bailing. Not bailing. At this point, I'm pot committed. My preseason predictions in tatters, and I'll predict the same thing next year. Every week I go in, they're going to win this game. I don't care. It's like, that's what being a fan's all about. Like Tim Miles said in our pod a couple of weeks ago, you stick with the team. Just stick with the team. It's like, you're stuck with them. Like you said, Stanford's playing in front of 12,000 people, and Nebraska keeps bringing them in. And it's like, it's great. It's because we keep believing in the team. And I didn't even go there. Why am I rooting for this team? I didn't even go there.
I'd like to take a little bit of a personal 90-degree turn here. Betsy and I just returned on Saturday from Dan Meacham's funeral. Dan worked for me, 15, 20 years ago, and I befriended Dan's father, Charlie Meacham, who's a very well-known guy. Charlie was a 22-year CEO of Taft Media, which owned Hanna-Barbera and Kings Island. He was the guy, I don't know if you remember the Evel Knievel jump at Kings Island, but Charlie and his team put that together. And then he went on to become the LPGA chairman. He was Arnold Palmer's private business manager for a decade, and 40-year friend of Jack Nicklaus, very involved in golf. Not much of a player himself, he would fully admit, somewhat of a legend in the golfing world. And he did something that it's not in my capacity to do. He eulogized his own son. And I don't know if you recall this, Bob, but he did the eulogy for Arnold Palmer when he passed away. And he did it so thoughtfully, and it was just it was centered around the letter F. It was family, fun, friends, facts, and just wove a remarkable story. Talked about his wife who passed in July as well. So Charlie's had a rough couple of months. And he's 94, by the way, 94 years old. So to get up there and deliver that, the ceremony was absolutely beautiful. I don't know if I've been to a more thoughtful memorial. There was several hundred people there, and it was just so good to be with their family. We went to their home afterwards, and the home was just kind of filled with life and fun and laughter, albeit a very, very sad situation because Dan was just 64. But I just want to raise a toast to the whole Meacham family and convey my love for them. Yep, right here, Bob Fraley. Boom. And just say it was an honor to be there, and we're going to do our very best to be in your life, Charlie, as much as we can while we still have you. And really just a wonderful job you did, and thank you for doing that for Dan. He was a good guy.
Let me just add this on top of that. We're very passionate about Nebraska, but at the end of the day, your friendships, that's what's important. Your friends and your family and your community and your people, that's what counts. This is just fun. So when you think about the team and all that good stuff, it's fun to be passionate about them, but keep your priorities where it's important, which is on your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people who make you who you are. So good for you for being out there. Good for you, Jay Stockwell.
It was really a fun trip, and thanks to Betsy for coming. All right, well, we've got 2 games left, Bob Frady.
That's right. A chance to go 2-0. A chance to go 2-0.
That's all we need to do. With 2-0, we're going to be 7-5. By the way, all of our preseason predictions are now off the board, Mr. 11-1. You know.
Hey, listen, what you blame me for being an optimist? Why not be an optimist? So what? You get your heart broken. Big deal. You get up on the horse next year, you ride again. Like, no big deal. 11. Like I said, if let's put it this way, if Nebraska went to the playoffs, that'd be multiple bowl games that we'd have to go to. This way, if they qualify for the bowl game, it's one bowl game.
Yeah. And well, that's the benefit of the bowl game is 4 extra weeks of practice and development for the guys. So that's what we get. That's what we got to be pulling for here.
All right, Jay Stockwell, why don't you send us out today?
Okay. Well, I'm excited again. I'm excited about the Wisconsin game. Paul Rossetti, we're coming after you next week. So yeah, let me see if I can take us out. That was good.
See, now that's how you do it. Not like give me red, do I'm sad to be loved. Don't swear. Do they showing his well said